If you could finish this sentence for us, Philadelphia fans are, how would you finish that?
I'd say great. I'd also tell you they're well educated in the sport. I always felt like they were on the same page as the coach. If you stunk, they let you know it, just like you were feeling. If you did well, they were all in, just like you were feeling as a coach, and they were honest with it. They didn't hesitate to voice their opinion.
We're looking forward to speaking with Andy, and he's going to be joining us very shortly. We appreciate him giving us some time on what is a very busy schedule. That's for sure. We know that even during the off season, man, things can get crazy. As Andrew's making sure that he's good to go, and we're close. We are very close to having Andy joining us. That's for sure. It's going to be fun. We look forward to doing the show with you guys every single day. But today, obviously, a little cooler to be talking to Andy off the top of the show. That's for sure. So as Andrew's going to give me the word, and when he's ready to go, and we will be rolling. It looks like I see Andy sitting down. He's getting us. There he is. Oh, there he is. Coach Andy Reid. Andy, how are you?
Doing good. Thanks.
Andy, thanks for taking a couple days, a couple minutes for us with your buddy D Gunn.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Thanks, Andy. Well, all right, I previewed.
How about that guy on my left up there, man?
Well,
Coach,
let's start there.
Man?
How's it going, Coach?
Barrett, go ahead. Why don't we start with that, Barrett?
Yeah, go ahead, Barrett. Ask me a question.
Coach, I don't know if you remember when you first got hired there, and I was just leaving, and they had already grabbed a big tray, and I came into your office. I was like, "Hey, Coach, I'm willing to give you the hometown discount. I want to stay here." You said, "Barrett, I like you, but we're going a different direction." So I didn't know you guys were going to get, the mountain of a man with the Titans. So he's like, "No, we're going a different direction." He said, and I said, "Well, Coach, I play here, and I take the home kids." He said, "Well, I think you're going to Detroit. I'm sending you to Detroit." I said, "Coach, I'm a free agent." And you said, "Detroit, they'll treat you right." And lo and behold, a week later, you sent me to. Well, I went to Detroit because you had already talked to somebody there, and I really appreciated that, man. I really appreciated it.
Yeah,
but
time flies.
Hey, it's 233 wins later. It worked out pretty well for Coach Reid. Go ahead, Derek.
Yeah, Coach. So much has changed about this game, and especially the players. How you have to coddle players compared to where you could be like a dictator back then. How have you stayed relevant and stayed so close to players? Because I've never heard a player say a bad thing about you.
Yeah. Listen, I mean, I'm in a position where you've got to make decisions. And it doesn't mean that I don't like you. I mean, it's just, that's the nature of the business. And
thank you, Coach.
Yeah, right. Well, you had a great career. So, I mean, you played a long time.
Yes, sir.
Some of these guys, they only play a couple of years and then they're done. And that's hard. I mean, that's a hard thing. But I think the guys, when it's all said and done, appreciate the honesty with it. And then when they're here, man, I treat them like gold. So I try to, we work hard, but they already know that. We're going to work hard, we're going to win, and we're going to, have some fun together.
Andy, I got to ask you, you had two that stand out, obviously, are Donovan and Patrick Mahomes, but we're in a situation here in Philadelphia where we're going into the second year of Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts. How critical is that second year from you guys getting to know one another the first year to the second year when you can really start to see things elevate like we saw with you and Donovan and Patrick?
Yeah, Rob. I mean, it takes time. I mean, normally it takes like 4 years before you kind of get in the flow as a quarterback in this league, where you just feel like you have it all together and down. So they're in that process. The one thing that you've got there is a guy that's willing to work hard, and he wants to be great. I mean, that's what he wants. I had a nice visit with him after our game. What was it, last year? And so he sincerely wants to do well, and that's the start. That's the foundation. And with that, with the coaching he's getting from Nick, I mean, that's going to take place, and everybody just has to hang with him and Nick will deflect some of the stuff that you have to deflect from the public until he feels like he's grounded all the way, and then he flies from there.
Well, Coach, and looking at Nick and how he's approaching this this season, we know that you're a firm believer in throw the ball to set up the run. Can you win in this new wave era, a Super Bowl, running to set up the pass?
Well, you can't if you're a big play action team. Yeah, I mean that's it helps your play action game for sure. I think there has to be a balance, and you have to stay flexible with it. You can't negate the run game from your offense. And there's a time and a place in either in a game or coming into a game that you're going to want to rely on that, and that it's going to be the higher percentage than maybe the pass game. At least if you're ahead, right? So, and then on the other side, you want to make sure that you can throw the ball. The problem with it is normally the throw game takes a little bit longer to get together than the run game. I mean, that's how it works. So you've got to spend time. You got to work out how you're going to spend time with it. But there's going to be a time and a place when you're going to need to rely on the run game, and it's got to be there for you. And so that's how you set it up. But I guess to answer your question, most teams are going the opposite way now of throwing the ball and letting that kind of set up your run game, cleaning out the box, and then that sets up your run game a little bit better.
Coach, if you had a chance to talk to Sirianni, what advice would you give him in terms of how to handle the Philadelphia fan base and the media?
Yeah, just be honest with them. I think they don't want like the class clown up there. That's not what they want, and he's not that. So they would just want to be shot straight. And so, listen, I wasn't. Who am I to say it, Derek? I mean, I suck at that. So I was terrible at it, but I think he's doing a good job. I probably didn't, I don't know. Dealing with the media that's a whole nother deal. Dealing with the football team, I can handle that. And dealing with the media, I just try to give them something that they can go with and then get out.
It's funny you say that, because I remember you and I had a couple of conversations when you were here, and I would say, Coach, why don't you let your personality come through? I said, dude, if people knew how humorous you were away from the cameras and the mics, people be shocked, and you say, that's not what I'm about. I just want to give them what they need and get out of there. Yeah,
well, I mean, they don't want the class clown. That's not what they want. So they'll get on. They're going to get on you no matter what. And so I'd rather just get in, give them what give them something that they can use to write. I know that's not easy to write every day or to talk about it every day. And so give them a little something and then get the heck out. You still got to keep your team together. That's what's hard. And you're dealing with 90 guys right now, and they're relying on you to help support them and their venture in the NFL and their career. And so that's got to be your first priority. How do you take care of those guys? Not how you take care of the media, and then you put yourself on the back burner a little bit on that. You got to suck it up and take a few bullets there. So, but that's all right. I mean, as long as it works out for the team, then you're okay. And if you can always, as a coach, if you can always look in the mirror and say, listen, I did what I thought was best for the guys, for the team, I think you're probably shooting the right way. So,
Andy, you've been doing this consecutively since 1999. I mean, that speaks to that longevity speaks to what kind of coach you are. But to what do you attribute the ability to be able to do it for that period of time and stay as energized, as cutting edge as you are, especially from an offensive standpoint? How you been able to do that for that long a period of time when very few can?
Yeah, look, I've been blessed. I mean, I've been with three organizations if you count the Packers, but I've been with two organizations that have been tremendous and to work for. And then I've got good guys. My coaches are unbelievable. I've been lucky that way. It's, that's a little bit of a crapshoot if you haven't worked with somebody to put together a good staff. And then you can't just go out and hire all your friends. I mean, that doesn't normally work. Sometimes your friends end up being your enemies real fast in this business. So, and then I've been lucky to have good players. I've been blessed with good quarterbacks, and then good GMs and that whole deal. I mean, all the way around, it's been the support crews. It really helps out a head coach the most, I think. So.
Well, Coach, how has your philosophies changed much since leaving Philadelphia and getting to Kansas City, and how you approach the game?
No, not much. I mean, I try to take care of the bigs the best I can, both sides of the ball. Make sure if we can have a good, solid quarterback, to have that in line. The corners, I think, are important. So I've kept with that part of it. The way I treat the players, I think, is very similar. The media is different now, Barrett, than compared to when you were in the game and when I got in. So it's you've got to deal with that. Everybody's a reporter now. I mean, players
Right.
included. So everybody has a voice, and so that part's a little bit different. But we're gonna have a new generation coming up here with the kids that are in college that are making money now, and so that's going to add another dimension to it. But there's no portal here. I know that. So once you're in, man, I got you. I got it. But it's a little different, right? It's a little different. But you got to keep that whole maturation process. This thing's never ending. It's you got to keep growing. And if you get stuck in your ways, you probably need to exit. That's how.
Coach, it's almost like these kids may have to take a pay cut now coming to the NFL. We used to play around with that, but it might be true now.
Especially if they go to Kansas State.
You knew that was coming.
Well, no, I mean, he didn't even bring up the point that I told him that, I was a Missouri guy, coaching Missouri against him. He didn't bring that part up.
Oh, my God. Andy, I got to ask you this one, because Derek and I were talking about this before you came up. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Your high school, John Marshall, is that where they filmed Grease?
Yeah, they did. I actually snuck in there and kind of watched them. I grew up right across the street from it. So like around the corner and across the street, down the hill and around the corner. So it was, short walk, 1 block away.
So you almost had a cameo? You and Travolta together on screen?
Well, no, I went to see Olivia, not Travolta. I mean, that's where they finished the show, was right on that field right there. So I knew all the ins and out of that field, having grown up right there. But
very cool.
Hey, Coach, last week I posted a picture at a Brian Dawkins golf outing, and I'm sitting there with a bunch of your former players, and you text me and you said, "Oh, you're special," right? And I thought about it for a moment, and I'm looking around talking to these guys, and that whole era. Do you sit back and think about the talent that you had in Philadelphia, and how close you came so many times, but never won it all, because you have some incredible talent here in Philadelphia?
I did. Yeah, no, very fortunate that way. And there was nothing more than you wanted to do than to win it. And that's why I was so happy for Doug going in there and doing it. The city deserved it. And, we kind of dangled it out there for a few years where we were so close. And I wanted it for the guys. I wanted it for the city. It would have been a great celebration. Although I don't want to take anything away. The guys, they were phenomenal. And the things that, the stretch that we had there and that they had was something that they've been able to build their lives around here a little bit. The way they handled themselves in the city. Now they've got employment there, and, they were able to make a name for themselves. So it's been able to carry them for a number of years. And like you were saying in the text, that they've had such great success, which is neat to see.
Yeah.
Andy, last one. We know you got a lot to do for sure. There's no off season anymore. It's 24/7, 365. We get it. If you could finish this sentence for us, Philadelphia fans are, how would you finish that?
I'd say great. I'd also tell you they're well educated in the sport. I always felt like they were on the same page as the coach. If you stunk, they let you know it. just like you had just like you were feeling. If you did well, they were all in, just like you were feeling as a coach, and they were honest with it. They didn't hesitate to voice their opinion.
I lied. Last one. How would you describe Derek Gunn as a reporter? That is truly the last one. We need to hear this, Andy.
We know it's a dissertation.
Yeah, no,
now.
listen, man. I mean, he's like my homie now because he came out to my house, and we got to see the neighborhood there and all that. So I didn't get to treat him to a Dodger dog. The Dodger Stadium's right there, but no, listen, Derek did it the right way. He was great with the players. Again, he wasn't afraid to ask a tough question, but he also understood, there's some lines, there personal lines there that you don't want to cross and so on. But I thought he did it the right way, or I wouldn't have come on the show. I would have told him to go eat those fish behind.
the fish he tells us he catches. Andy.
Right.
We won't get into that.
He got those from the pro bass shop.
Well, Coach, go get some gates now. Hello, may I help you?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Good stuff.
He's a Jack Stack guy.
Oh, okay,
he's Jack Stack.
What they both do.
I'll do. Hey, listen, I haven't turned any of it away. So I'm for barbecue. Right.
Send me some gates, Coach. I'm hungry.
Exactly. All right, Coach. We appreciate your time today. Sincerely, thank you for joining the show, and wish you all the best in the upcoming season, personally, professionally. Thank you.
Great seeing you guys. Thanks.
All right, Coach. Take care. That is Coach Andy Reid. Man, it was fun, man. He is one of a kind. I mean it, guys. To be able to go and Barrett, you can relate to this as a guy who played and saw what went into it as a player and as a coach, and how those guys lived there 24/7 since 1999 consecutively till now, to still be doing it at the highest level in the NFL.
Crazy.
It's unheard of.
You think about, put that into perspective. There are people that work at the post office that long that don't make it that long. You know what I mean? They just try to leave. You know what I'm saying? That's an entire career. And for him to do it and work with people, be a manager of men, plus be, a father figure to some, a friend to others, and I mean, it's got to be one of the toughest jobs. You have to wear so many hats, and he's able to do it and be successful at the highest level. So, I mean, you got to just give him his kudos, man. He has done it, man, and still good at it right now.
The energy that it takes.
Yep.
You think about this too. You look at his age now, 65, 66 years old, and the league is in a push for the younger, energetic, innovative head coach.
Yep.
And here's a guy in his 60s who can relate to these kids, today's athlete in their 20s. That's a special gift. That's not easy to do. And that's why you start to see the older coaches phase out more so now, because I don't know why the mindset has to be, we need to be younger and get a coach to relate to these players.